information you can get. This is Built on Blues. Built on Blues.
Welcome back to Built on Blues. I'm your host, Graeme Bryks. Usually in the industry, you have the real estate guys in suits who sign the lease, and you have the general contractors in boots who actually build the walls. And they usually hate talking to each other. But my guest today speaks both languages. He's operating out of Denver, Colorado, handling everything from industrial warehouse renovations to high-end spec suites at Princeton's Point. He isn't just selling the square footage, he's the general contractor making sure it's actually leasable. I've got Peter Brumley in the studio. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Graeme. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, glad to have you on. I want to dig into your background because it is unique. I see Brumley Realty on the listings, but then I look at your YouTube channel and it's full of framing, electrical roll-ups, and demo work at Lincoln Business Center. Did you start as a realtor who got tired of waiting on contractors, so you decided to just do the work yourself, or were you a builder just who got his license to capture the whole deal?
So I'm second generation in the business, and I want to frame it from that standpoint. I didn't have to start at zero. And so to be fair to anyone else that does need to start at zero, my path may or may not be viable. So I was able to jump right into the business on the owner's side through a relationship through my dad. And what I saw on the owner's very famous property called Larimer Square in Denver, Colorado. If you've come here, you've probably walked it, right? We'll have flags up, very famous. And what I saw was the inability to, on the boots on the ground side, really understand the quality and what is necessary to get something class A or B, that what we would call a nice office, really truly ready for someone that they can just slam into and start their business immediately. And then over time, that sort of developed into where you see me today, where I'm on the ownership side with my personal company, but then also as a vice president on, with a commercial general contractor, and the two feed off each other and mesh, I think, pretty well. I mean, I've been doing it for over 4 years now.
Wow. No, that's impressive stuff. That's I think it's a really smart move, because then you're kind of not having to deal with, either bad general contractors. You kind of know who you're dealing with at all times, and it's like it's you guys doing everything. You do a lot of spec suites, building out empty office shells so that they're ready for a tenant to move in immediately. I would say that's a pretty high pressure game. The landlord wants it done yesterday so they can start collecting rent. In the early days when you were first trying to manage these tight commercial timelines in Denver, what was the biggest welcome to the jungle moment?
So we go through this whole process where we have a fire permit as a general contractor, but there's a subcontracting life safety fire sprinkler permit as well. And what was happening, particularly during COVID, because there was so much medical going on when I got my start, is that sometimes those internal permits for the subcontractor were longer than the general contractor permit, and we were ending up where we were done with the job, but we couldn't close it all the way out. Because the other thing that happens with buildings, and this is worldwide, is they don't get updated regularly. You're supposed to do that, but most owners, they hold and they put as little capital into it as possible. You've seen this, no doubt, where you live, Graeme. And there's some great owners, too, that continually, keep the building up, et cetera, et cetera. But most don't, and so when we finally do pull a permit on a suite, not that they put the boots to us in that sense, just that they've got to get it updated, and sometimes that's a 40-year pull. It can be a 50-year pull in Colorado. That's a big pull.
Yeah.
There's a lot you got to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. For the residential contractors listening who are used to the emotional homeowners picking tile for 6 weeks, can you break down the science of a commercial tenant improvement? Like when you walk into a gutted warehouse at I-25 and 6th Ave, what is the process to turn that into a leasable asset in 60 days? Like, is it all about speed and logistics?
Well, so what happened there is we had drawings approved by the city, and we were 4 weeks to starting, Graeme, and a tenant came in and took the space, and we had to start over and do more of a design build process with that tenant. And that tenant, we're close enough now. And that's a $40 million 20-year lease, Graeme. They could build their own building, but it doesn't make sense for them. It's easier to just keep. So they have one space already that's at like 120,000 square feet. This is another 100,000 square feet that's like 2 blocks away. Right, you're never going to be able to buy a building and that's not realistic. You'd have to go way out to the airport where there's enough land in Colorado to do something like that. And so this was the only mechanism they had to have their operation sort of really close in still. And so we ended up, literally scrapping the drawings that we had worked at that point 14 months on and starting over with a totally new process. To City of Denver's credit and Denver Fire, they have helped us through the process, but it's been a heavy lift to get them in. Now, if it was a spec suite, that's a situation where, you can demo back everything. You have to test and take all the nasty stuff out, but, you demo back and you do what's on the drawings, and usually we call that type of build like a core and shell. So when you look at Lincoln Business Center, that's more of a spec suite or a core and shell type build. And those can, we did those in like 10 weeks. We had a little extra mechanical in there because based upon the uses that were coming in that we knew they would be assembly space. So like a gym and one is a ballet.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of people in there at the same time, so you need more, there's a heavier lift on the HVAC side. So that takes a little extra time. But otherwise, it's bathrooms, it's redoing the bathrooms, it's white walls, it's mechanical, it's bringing the electrical up to LEDs and checking the panels, redoing the panels, or bringing extra power in depending on what you expect the use to be. Redoing all the plumbing typically except the sewer connections, right? We'll leave those alone, but we'll grind them out and make sure they're working.
Yeah.
Fire alarm, sprinklers if you have them, and life safety, and then you certify it and you hand it over to the owner, and or by the time, again, you see this process over and over again. By the time we're done, someone's literally moving in on top of us, literally the next day.
So yeah, it sounds like you guys got a good system in place and good operations. For the people listening who, don't really see that side of things happening, how are you managing it? Like, you're managing projects like the Milestones Eye Care demo or the upgrades at the Lincoln Business Center. That requires a lot of moving parts, like you said, electricians, drywalls, painters, plumbing, all the working on top of each other. Like, how do you manage the scheduling chaos? Are you like stuck on your phone texting subs all day, or
no.
Who
No,
do
we
you
use
like
a
give
really
that problem out to someone else, or like what? How do you guys automate?
It's a really
those
powerful
reminders?
program behind us, Graeme. The guys in the commercial industry will know it. It's called Procore. We briefly chatted about some AI stuff, and it's a really heavy, expensive program.
Mm-hmm.
Our main business is still medical. We literally do ERs and ORs, so our main business is medical. Not that we can't, we're
Expando.
I guess maybe we're the last full-service GC in Colorado. I don't mean that to take the starch out of anyone else in Colorado, but we actually do everything. But that keeps us agile and rooted to construction and read your drawings and actually perform. Like, don't just assume. That's probably what makes us unique. And then I came from the white-collar side into the blue-collar side, but I've been around builders my whole life. My grandfather was a builder. And I can have one conversation on what the blue-collar side needs with the white-collar side. Call me a gray-collar, right? And, I can talk to him. I can talk to an owner and be like, look, you have to do these things or the city just isn't going to approve it. So here's what's going to happen. And, someone else will lowball them, and then they finally get into the drawings and they see all that stuff come back. And I've had guys fire their other contractors, midway through it, and they're like, hey, I want to give this job back to you. And it's like, well, I don't know if I want it anymore. You didn't want to listen.
Yeah.
I'm the only guy doing this sort of as a gray collar. This is my world. I help small businesses actually get in and operate and make money. We work for some big guys and big gals as well, don't misunderstand, but usually smaller companies just get taken advantage. We've all heard the horror stories of the contractors. Frankly, we don't have time for it. We're doing a large volume of medical, and we want to do more of that, but we want to give our guys overtime and write big paychecks to our blue-collar people so they stay loyal. I think that's speaking, and your friends and family, they get that, especially right now. Overtime under this Trump administration, it ain't taxed.
Yeah.
So it's big incentive if you can give your people that, or my best subs, if I can give them overtime where I have enough work. That is so important right now for the loyalty.
Yeah, that's huge.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I love overtime. I think everyone loves overtime. If you're able to give that to your subcontractors, I'm sure they appreciate that shit a lot. You also wear the realtor hat too, so you know that the speed to lead is everything when a tenant is looking for space. Are you using any AI tools like in your program that handles inquiries for listings or the speed up your construction bids?
Sure. So I'm still, let's say, third world on that side, mainly because I'm an order taker on that side. So I'll have a subcontractor that calls me, or I'll have somebody that's met me and knows me. I'm a native as well to Colorado. I've been here my whole life, and so they just know me. And they're like, hey, I need this. The tool that's used there on the commercial side is called CoStar, and it's the only tool that exists out there that's worth it. You know, it's not cheap either, but that's what we use to find space. And then often, because I am a GC, I'm just telling the owner, look, if you can put some TI in your proposal, that's great. I'm doing the construction. Don't even worry about that. Tell me what kind of check you're comfortable with. I'll get the tenant in. You're done, you know? And for the most part, actually, most owners are super relieved, particularly on the smaller side, because they're like, that sounds wonderful. And they'll even give me a discount on rate most of the time because I'm getting the tenant in 2, 3, 6 months faster than anyone else can do it. This is what I do. It's become necessary.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Love to hear that. During COVID and dealing with the office space, did you see a shift in the commercial real estate market when it came from people starting to work from home at more?
So we used to build pre-2019. Everyone's going to laugh. We used to build what are called like community desks, right? You'd sit and the next person's sitting a foot away from you with a plug-in, right? And you had these big open offices with these big community desks, and they still exist. The spacing's different now. But we've gone back to executive offices now. I think part of that is if you are a work from home person, in the most general sense, you are likely not an executive. Most executives, from what I'm hearing right now today, is all I can speak to, are back in the office 3-4 times a week. Most are not 5. Some companies require 5. But the executives have their own office, right? They're in control of their own little space. And then the bullpen has, mid-level and low-level managers or, floor people that are pushing what they need to push. Though, for the most part, those offices have remained open. I haven't seen a whole lot of the cubicle stuff come back. I think there's a big push away from that. Once in a while I'll walk into it, but they'll be really nice cubicles.
Yeah.
Sort of aftermarket. We have some retailers and stuff here that do that and do a great job. We're not building, super expensive custom stuff. And the amenities in the buildings have become a lot more important. So I just did a huge training room at Prentice Point, you mentioned. We've done exercise rooms. We've done big amenity packages, places to eat, places to get out of the office as a third place.
Mm-hmm.
But ironically, what's happened in most of these buildings, I don't know about downtown Canada where you're at, but a lot of these first floor retailer coffee houses and little sandwich houses, they failed because people weren't in the office for such a long time.
Yeah.
They're out. And so what's happened now is people are ordering in, we'll just say DoorDash, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're ordering in, but then they don't want to take it up to the office, right? They're landing in sort of these community areas on the first floor, and they're sort of nice social canteens, if you will. And maybe if it's a really big building, maybe you had one guy survive.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's been sort of this DoorDash landing.
Yeah. I want to go back into a little bit more of the AI stuff. Where do you see AI almost infiltrating the real estate market or the general contractor side of things in the next year or so? I personally think AI is growing really fast, like a lot faster than a lot of us think it is. I feel like a lot of people are using these like AI receptionists now and just like finding anything to kind of like automate admin work and like workflow and all that kind of stuff. Where do you see AI coming into the industry for like near the end of 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I think guys try to bid with it. There's still a human behind it that's got to check it all.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives you a starting point, so you're faster. Anytime you're doing something spreadsheet-wise, you can try to utilize it as a start point, but it's not accurate enough yet. I'm a computer information systems major, so I believe that one day, it can be automated, and, well, people are going to lose their jobs. No. Do you guys have any idea right now today how freaking expensive construction is? I mean, I'm doing a warehouse right now out by the airport, and I mean, all in $300 per square foot for a trust investor, ground up from the dirt. And I mean, that would build a Class A office building just 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen is finally, for the first time, I believe, costs will come down in construction and work backwards. We haven't seen that in our lifetime, if you don't mind me aging you out to my age, Graeme. We've only seen up, we've not seen down. But most other industries, let's pick on TVs or monitors. I mean, oh my God, I'm looking at you right now on a 32-inch curved screen monitor. As a kid, growing up playing World of Warcraft, it was like a 12-inch monitor, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, I mean, it's 32. This was $200.
Yeah, they're going
I
down
mean,
in price.
when I was a kid, it would have been 10 grand. It would have been something crazy, right?
Yeah.
TVs and those. So I think we're going to finally see that in construction. We'll see some level of work back. The negative is, and you know this since you're more on the blue collar side, if you don't mind me placing you that way, the wages haven't kept up though.
100%.
And so I don't know how that's going to work yet in an unpolitical way. Tradespeople cannot be trained in 5 years or less. So let's just talk about it, to take an illegal immigrant and say, oh yeah, we can make him an electrician, it doesn't work that way. And so many of my electricians are second, third generation. I mean, it's heirloom stuff that they know. You know, they grew up working with their dad or their, you know, in some cases it's the daughter now, which not a real DEI hire. I mean, there's some chicks that can sling it now, whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it takes half a decade or even a whole decade to really become an artisan-level tradesperson in whatever you're doing.
Red Seal or wherever. Like a true Red Seal, someone who knows what they're doing no matter what they're kind of looking at.
They could do, if they wanted to, they could start their own business on the side or, you know, become Graeme Bryks plumbing shop.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like when it comes to the wage side, I feel like there will be an increase because there's going to be a lot less tradesmen out there. That's where I feel kind of that gap getting filled, because I just, like, personally myself, I see it in my generation where, like, so many people don't want to be doing the hard work anymore. Everyone sees these opportunities to make money online, make money online, make money online. So they kind of shy away from the actual hard work and, like, getting nitty gritty. Like, there's very few people out there. I feel like it's just, like, different province by province or state by state where you can tell, like, there's actually, like, blue collar men, hardworking men that actually want to do it. So I see that's where kind of, like, maybe the wage increase finally catching up is when there is, like, a scarcity to how many
right now
workers there are.
Right now in Denver, and we're only at, what did someone tell me, 60% of where we were, like, pre-2019, which still wasn't really great. I mean, Colorado hasn't really surged like it did you know, a decade ago. And God, we're at capacity. Guys are already booking back. I mean, the big GC shops are booking back a year, 18 months already on strategic level stuff. I mean, it's so, I believe because the costs come down, the cost of capital comes down. Talk a little bit about the white collar side. And the cost of capital is really meaningful. Guys, right now, construction loans, 8.5%. When it was 10.5%, everything stops. That money's too hot. It's too expensive. You can't pencil 8.5% per year. That's it. Those of you that understand finance will understand that it just doesn't work at that point. We've come back to 8.5. Banks are willing to lend. Banks have to lend, frankly. The last 3 banks I was in, they're like, no, we got to get back to lending because it's the only way we make money, right? A bank doesn't make any money when it holds. They're the opposite of, you know, your family, right? When a bank holds money, that's bad, actually. They're in the business of making good, historically accurate loans at fair percentages and making a return. The last thing a bank wants is to foreclose. We'll just pick on the residential side. The last thing a bank wants is to foreclose on a home, let alone an office building. They have no clue what to do with it. I mean, they call me and they're like, hey, we need, you know, this is going up for auction in 60 days or 6 months or whatever it is. What can you do? Hey, here's what we can do. Here's the spec suites we can do. You know, and just while we're on this topic of spec suites, in the last 2 years, I think we've done 36. I think 35 have been leased. There's one really sort of bigger unit that needs a little bit more specific tenant. It's over 5,000 square feet. 35 or 36 to those that he doesn't know what he's talking about. 35 or 36 in our market, guys. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're getting close to time here. I got 2 more questions for you. The magic wand question, I love asking this one. I would say you're handling the sale and the build. That's 2 full-time jobs. If you had a magic wand and could erase one operational bottleneck in your business right now, what would that be?
So I think capital's gotten better, and that's now put pressure on cities if they can process incoming day or week of. That's hard to do. It's really hard to process at a city level because just so everyone knows, literally the laws change every year, and so you have to go through sort of like continuing ed, and it's like, okay, no, this works this way now. But those cities that can process faster have seen people choose them over other cities, frankly. There's guys that have long lead times and can plan longer to get in, but those that need something fast, we have a city called City of Greenwood Village in Denver. I think it's actually larger by office space than Denver is now, right? But you've never heard of it, right? You've only ever heard of Denver. But when you are in the market for office space, Greenwood Village has become very attractive. And they're processing in 4 weeks. Denver's gotten better, right? It's typically 6 to 8. They're getting you through. They've gotten a lot better. I actually met with the head of permitting. Her name's Jill in Denver, and she's really pushing and frankly starting to kill it. So now that she's in place, it seems like it's gotten a lot better. But guess what? She's got 2 stadiums to build now. We've got to build a women's soccer stadium, and they're starting to work on the Broncos stadium, which is our big sport in America, right? Football. And so, those are heavy lifts, guys, infrastructure-wise. That takes a lot of time. So
you get rid of that.
It's never easy. As soon as capital gets cheaper, literally, this stuff starts to happen, right? People build stadiums.
Yeah. Okay, last one. There's a residential contractor listening who's tired of dealing with homeowners and wants to break into commercial work. What is the one thing they need to understand about commercial clients that is totally different than residential clients?
Okay, so depending on where you work, it may be a separate license. That's first and foremost. So you need to figure that out. And there's going to be certain cities you can or can't. Okay? Now, that being said, some clients will pay you later than 180 days. If you lien a commercial client and force them to pay you, you will get smaller cities. Any city, you're blacklisted. And that may be the end of commercial for you. So you can't lien them. Sometimes you have to. That's a special circumstance. And just you got to manage your cash flow, Graeme. And that's so very, very difficult, especially when you go from a $100,000 project in someone's home to $1 million project.
Yeah.
And what I would tell somebody that wants to start out in commercial is you better be a cash GC. I'll just be frank about it. You can go and borrow for a month here and a month there if you have to make ends meet. You better have a shotgun in the piggy bank, let's say.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, Peter, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come on with us today. I respect the hustle of doing it all. For anyone in Denver looking for a space or needing a commercial build, where is the best place to find you?
Yeah, I'll give you all my links, but just listen. 720-645-85. Every time it rings, guys, I'm on it. I pick it up. Okay, I'm old school that way, and I think that's just Denver is we still call each other on the phone. I'll give Graeme all of my stuff at the end, and he can post it with the video. But just call me, guys. It's a people business still. It takes people. You're going to deal with an owner that's hard. You're going to deal with a property manager, hopefully that's good and maintains the building. And you got to deal with a building engineer that, shovels the you-know-what to keep things on and keep things working on aging infrastructure. It's people. We need people.
Yeah, you need people. We will always need people, and I truly believe that. And I know a lot of people thinking with the AI and everything like that, I do believe you still need that human connection. I keep saying that. So I'll throw the number on, and then like I said, you'll give me all the socials, and I'll put that in the notes. Thanks for coming on again, and to everyone listening, keep building, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks.
Bye now. All right, sweet.